Hello again, you're watching Today on eNCA. Now, Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu has provided updates today on the country's water supply and challenges. He says his department is working with municipalities to ensure adequate supply. My colleague eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu was there following this story, joining us now in the studio. Welcome to Today. Thank you for joining us, Manqoba. So the minister, we have lots of challenges, but one of the biggest one is about water capacity. What did he say about that?
Well, certainly, Praten, the minister is saying that there's still quite a number of challenges. Of course, you recall that Senzo Mchunu took over this department last year after that, act by the president where he actually had to change some of the ministers and appoint
the cabinet reshuffle.
Cabinet reshuffle, Pretend. That's the word I'm looking for. So he was put in that position last year, and since then he says that, of course, it has not been quite easy in that department. He says there have been quite a number of challenges in terms of capacity within the department. There are many issues when it comes to incapacity, and one of those issues, of course, is the fact that there's still a lot of projects that are still not complete. You recall, Pretend, that we'll talk of the project like the Kiani water project, which was started in 2014. That has still not been concluded, but the good news there that's coming from that particular briefing is that in October, he says they will be doing something. They'll be finalizing some aspects of that particular project. But he says that there have been quite a lot of them that have come to a complete halt, Pretend, and some of them have not been completed on time, and some of them have actually not even taken off. And this is due to some of those issues within the department, the issues of staffing, the issues around resources as well as money, which he says are a continuous problem to the department when it comes to the supply of water to some of the communities in the country. So he says that as a department, there are many of the interventions that they're looking into, which include, of course, trying to work along with the water boards in the country and to ensure that they strengthen these water boards so that they can play their role in providing water to those communities that are in need. Take a listen, Pretend, to what he had to say, especially on this issue of capacity.
This issue of capacity, right from head office where we sit, it reflects on a number of issues or on a number of occurrences. You start a project and then an error comes in and then it gets delayed because somebody has done or has made an error of one kind or the other somewhere down the line. And then it takes a while before that error gets detected. And then it gets detected and it gets addressed. By that time, you have lost 2 months or 3 months in some cases 6 months. So that clearly shows that there is a little bit of a capacity issue.
The Eastern Cape must have been an issue that the minister would address. And I'm saying that's because they've been suffering from the longest, severest drought in years. And places like the Nelson Mandela Bay at Gqeberha are facing day zero. Did you speak about that?
Well, certainly, Praten, and of course it is quite a huge concern for the Water and Sanitation Department. You'll know, Praten, that they've also been on the ground to look at the situation. And the minister does admit, Praten, that the situation is dire in Gqeberha because he says that many of the dams that are supposed to be supplying the department there and the municipality there have simply run dry. So this means that the department will have to find other ways of providing water. There has been some intervention on the ground as far as boreholes are concerned. They've dug boreholes with the help of private companies as well as a gift of the givers. But he says that there's still a problem when it comes to the people in Gqeberha. He sees people still washing cars, people still taking long showers. And he says that this is also just adding to the problem. The people are adding to the problem. And so he's really pleaded to the community at large to, continue saving water, to continue ensuring that they don't waste water.
Reduce your daily consumption as much as possible.
Because
remember, Cape Town went through this when they were facing day zero, and the Cape Towners had to face the reality and start changing their behavior. It's hard, but when you are faced with day zero, you need to change your behavior.
And that's what the minister is saying, appealing to people to, continue using water sparingly, because he says by wasting water, they're simply adding to the problem. He says that they are, of course, at this particular point, have averted day zero, but he says that's just an intervention for now. It's not a permanent solution. There's still ways which they are going to be intervening in that particular issue and some of the programs that they'll be looking into. But of course, at this particular point, he says the situation is quite dire, Praten. Take a listen to what he had to say on that issue.
The other context is that of drought, 7-year drought in Gqeberha, which we are looking at with day zero always knocking around on our door. But we are working well, and we've worked very well with the municipality there and the Eastern Cape government, provincial government, to avert up to now. So if you ask us, have we been able to avert day zero, we are saying at least up to the time we went to sleep last night, up to 12 midnight, there was no day zero. And we're battling it today from early morning. And we're hoping that we will have another day without day zero in Gqeberha. It's a day-to-day struggle with day zero, but it's looking at us in the eye. We're looking at it in the eye.
That's the Water and Sanitation Minister, Senzo Mchunu, ending that update from my colleague, that's reporter Manqoba Mchunu. Now,